Hi, Tara Salee, Hy-Vee registered dietitian, here today to talk to you about navigating nutrition trends. There is a ton of information out there. I feel like there's a new nutrition fad every time I turn around, and sometimes it can be very difficult to decipher, is this fact or is this fiction? So today I'm going to pick two of the top 3 trends I've been seeing lately, and we're going to go through and separate what is a legitimate nutrition claim that could be beneficial to our health and diet from what maybe isn't. So the 3 trends we're going to be looking at today is cottage cheese, chia seeds, and sugar versus sweeteners. So we're going to start today with our cottage cheese. This is a superfood. I'm seeing it all over the place right now. And this is one I give a thumbs up because it is so fantastic. Because it is a great source of protein. Protein is very important for our bodies. I feel like I talk about this every single video I do, but the great thing about cottage cheese is it's a very bioavailable protein, which means our body can absorb the majority of that protein that we're eating. Protein has a lot of benefits to the body. One is muscle repair and growth. It also studies our blood sugar. It also keeps us full in between meals. It sticks with us longer. So this is something that is extremely important to include within every meal, especially earlier on in the day to get those protein-rich sources. Cottage cheese is also a great source of B vitamins, which are very important for energy and metabolism. B vitamins are essential to our metabolism. They help break down food. They help make enzymes to keep that metabolism going. So again, full of nutrients there. It's also very versatile. So with our cottage cheese, we could put that in smoothies. We could mix it into eggs and scramble eggs. We could eat it on its own. There's a lot we can do with it. There's tons of recipes out there where you can incorporate this into sweet dishes as well as savory dishes. So it's very easy to use. I pulled a couple different cottage cheeses today. We have just a traditional cottage cheese. I usually look for one that says low fat on it. And so that's what I have here. You can also get a lactate cottage cheese, which means it's lactose free. So if you avoid lactose or don't tolerate lactose well, it doesn't mean you have to avoid cottage cheese. So there's another option. I'm going to put together a breakfast bowl here. So this is something you could have for breakfast, and this is also something that you can make ahead of time and pull out so you have a quick option ready to go. So for this dish, you're just going to put in some cottage cheese into a bowl, like so. So that's going to be our base. From there, you're going to put some granola on it. So I got the gluten-free oats and honey granola. This also has 10 grams of protein per serving. So this is, again, going to power pack that breakfast for us. One serving is 2/3 of a cup, which I will go ahead and measure that out for us. Okay. Next up, we want to get our fruit on there. So I just grabbed some shortcut strawberries. Remember, the goal every single day is to eat 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. Most of us are not getting anywhere near close to that. This is an area of opportunity for most of us. So I'm just going to slice up some of these strawberries. Getting 1 cup of fruit in with breakfast or 1 cup of vegetables, if you're going to do like something savory, would be a great goal to start your day. And then you could do another cup with lunch, another cup with dinner, and then 1 cup with your snack. That would be a good place to start if you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables currently. So there we have our strawberries. I also grabbed some blueberries, so we'll add a few blueberries to this dish as well. The goal would be for the strawberries and blueberries combined to be about 1 cup. Got some slivered almonds that we're going to sprinkle on top as well. Almonds are a great source of heart-healthy fat. They're full of monounsaturated fat. These are the types of fat that are very good for your heart. They help to increase your heart-healthy cholesterol, which is your HDL, and they don't contribute to increasing your unhealthy cholesterol, which is your LDL. If you are not a fan of the almonds, you could also do something like a pistachio and chop that up and put it on there. Those are great as well. And then for a garnish, This is completely optional, but I think that always adding other fresh flavors can add to the total enjoyment of that dish. So here we have a little bit of mint. I'm going to sprinkle on top of that. And to top it off, remember, we don't really have any sweetness in here. So if that's something you're missing or you're wanting a little bit of sweet flavor on there, you could do just a drizzle of honey. A little goes a long way here. So there we have that. So trend 1, cottage cheese, is a definite thumbs up and something that I would encourage you to incorporate into your diet, whether it be this cottage cheese breakfast bowl or in another way. Our next nutrition trend we're going to look at is chia seeds. Chia seeds have gained a ton of popularity in recent years. You might have seen these in all kinds of different recipes being featured on social media as well as on the news. Are they something you should include in your diet or not? My vote is yes, absolutely. I love chia seeds. These are something that are so versatile, similar to that cottage cheese that we just worked with, and something you can use in a lot of different ways. So why should we include chia seeds? Here are chia seeds. If you haven't seen these before, they look like little teeny tiny poppy seeds. These are shelf stable. They have absolutely no flavor whatsoever. But again, they do have a ton of nutrition benefits. So what are the big ones? Fiber, first and foremost. These are loaded with fiber. Fiber is very good at preventing constipation, helping with regular bowel movements. It's also good for our GI health. One thing to keep in mind is if you don't currently eat a lot of fiber and you're starting to incorporate chia seeds, to also increase that water intake to prevent any GI distress. Just as a rule of thumb, we should be trying to get about 30 grams of fiber per day. So this would help you on your way to that. Secondly, these are a form of heart healthy fats. The chia seeds have plant-based omegas, which are good for your heart. They also can help to lower cholesterol, help to lower blood pressure, as well as prevent inflammation. So it's just a great food to have in your diet. They can be used in a ton of different ways. I add them a lot of times to smoothies as well as baked goods. So if I'm making pancakes or muffins, I usually put some of these in as well. We don't really notice a change in like the flavor of what we're eating, and it's kind of just like a little poppy seed in there. So sky's the limit on what you could do with these. Today, what I'm going to show you though is a chia pudding. So for a chia pudding, this can be a breakfast item. This can also be a really easy snack you can make. So all you need to do for this is you need to get some sort of milk. I'm using a coconut almond milk blend here, and we need half a cup of that. And then we're going to pour that into our mason jar here. So here we have that. And then we just need 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, which doesn't seem like much, but these bulk up when they are in liquid. They like pretty much 5 times their size, essentially, because they expand so much. They almost form like a gel-like substance. And this is also what it does in your GI tract, which is so good for digestion. So once it's in there, we need to stir it. And I like to use a fork for this because I want to get it all broken up. I want to make sure that it doesn't clump up. This is something really easy to make. However, I will also say that like some people have trouble with this, and in part, it can be because they don't stir it enough. So you want to stir it really, really good. And then the trick is, once we stir it really good, you want to let it sit for about a minute, and then we're going to stir it again. That second stir, you can see like it's already starting to thicken, but if we let it sit for a minute, it'll thicken up a little bit. We'll stir it one more time. You can kind of see right now that those chia seeds are starting to fall to the bottom of that liquid, which we don't really want to happen, because if we were to put it in the fridge right now, then it would kind of like be really thick and clumpy at the bottom. Once we stir this again, we're going to put this into the refrigerator, and we want to at least let it sit 4 hours minimum. So not as long as something like overnight oats, but still it has to set up. And when it's done, if I were to stick this fork into it, it would stand straight up. That's how thick it will be. It will be like the texture of pudding almost, maybe even a little bit thicker. So I'm going to give this another stir. And then last but not least, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of honey. This is optional. You don't have to do this. I used unsweetened almond milk over here. So there was no added sugar with this. If you have a sweetened milk, then you may not want to add any of the honey. All right, so that is stirred well. So from here, this is where I would put the lid on and I would stick it into the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. The other thing you could do though is you could make several of these and have them. They're good in your refrigerator for a week. So this could be a snack or a breakfast that you could pull out for the next few days. I have a couple other things here which are toppings that I like to use. And that's why I like to use a big mason jar, is because once it sets up, you can put your toppings in that jar and then it's ready to go. So some of my favorite toppings that I like to put on there is, first and foremost, you want to pick a fruit. So I would put some fruit in this, and let's just pretend we put it in the fridge, pulled it back out 4 hours later. This won't look identical to how it will look because I don't have one that's ready to go. But if this were ready to go, I would actually add my fruit at that point in time. You could then add your unsweetened coconut flakes. Again, something that's optional, but it adds a nice flavor and texture. And that would go right on top. And then last but not least, those pistachios that we could have put on our cottage cheese, you could also do a rough chop on those and add those as well for an extra crunch and also another boost of heart health. Again, because these have those monounsaturated fats that are also so good for our heart. So super easy as another meal option for you. So all in all, when it comes to chia seeds, absolutely try to work these into your diet in some way every day. So whether it be the chia pudding or adding them to oatmeal or cereal or a smoothie, I would definitely try to get 1 to 2 tablespoons in every single day. If you don't have any right now in your diet, start with half a tablespoon and then work your way up to 2. For our third and final trend we're going to be talking about is sugars. What sugars to use, what sugar is going to be the best option for you. There's so many things out there. I know that there's a lot of information and misinformation about what is best and what to use here. So before we dive into that, I did want to point us back over here again to this chia pudding. And the chia pudding here, I went ahead and I put those blueberries on top of that, and so you can see in that short time of about 10-15 minutes, it's already you're already able to see that it has gelled and solidified, and the blueberries are actually sitting on top of that pudding now, whereas when I first made it, they kind of sunk to the bottom. Okay, sugar wise, what should we use? So we're going to start all the way over here. This is just a traditional cane sugar, your regular cane sugar. This is actually organic, but metabolically speaking, it works the same in our body as any other sweetener. Cane sugar is going to, if we eat this, our blood sugar goes up. This has carbohydrates in it. When our blood sugar goes up, it makes our pancreas produce insulin to pull it back down to normal. So if we're diabetic or trying to control our blood sugar, not wanting to have those spikes, this would not be our friend, because this will cause blood sugar spikes. Okay, so then moving down the row to our honey. Honey works the same way in our body as sugar. So using a teaspoon of this or using a teaspoon of cane sugar is the same metabolically. It's still going to spike our blood sugar. It is still going to cause the production of insulin, which is also that fat storage hormone. They're about equally sweet as well. You might have heard, well, honey's healthier, honey's more natural. I wouldn't really say it is healthier or necessarily more natural. The only difference between these two items is there are a few added benefits of doing like a local honey. It can help in terms of If it was produced by local bees, it could possibly help your allergies. There are a few other added health benefits. However, it still will impact your blood sugar. So this isn't just a freebie food that we can use any which way. Next up, coconut sugar. I get asked questions about this all the time because I think there is some misinformation that this does not affect blood sugar, and this is what all diabetics should use. But coconut sugar in 1 teaspoon has 4 grams of carbohydrate. To put that in perspective for you, from our regular cane sugar, this has the same thing, 4 grams of carbohydrate per 1 teaspoon. So they have the same amount of sugar. They're going to do the same thing in your body. Now, I will tell you there is one slight difference between these two sugars. It is called the glycemic index. That's how quickly does your blood sugar spike. Let's just use the mental picture of our cane sugar spikes our blood sugar like a mountain, and this will spike our blood sugar like a steep hill. So the glycemic index is just slightly lower with the coconut sugar as opposed to the cane sugar. So would this be a better option potentially than cane sugar? Maybe so, because you can still bake with it, you can still do all the same things with it. It's just about equally as sweet, but it may not spike your blood sugar quite as fast. With all 3 of these items, the biggest takeaway would be moderation is key. All of these are added sugars. All of these affect our blood sugar, and these are all things that we want to use sparingly, okay? The very sweetest thing in our diet ideally would be like our fruit. So use portion control here. Now we're switching over to other forms of sugar and sweeteners that are artificial or have different additives. One being Truvia. This is a baking blend. With the holidays right around the corner, this could be a potential good option if you like to do a lot of holiday baking. Now, this is not equal substitutions when it comes to baking. So you'll have to use the little chart on the back because this is a mixture of erythritol, sugar, and stevia. So it's much sweeter than sugar is. So you need less of this. Who would this be a good option for? This would be a good option for someone who does not have GI issues, and I'll explain why. Erythritol can wreak havoc if you have IBS or any sort of GI distress. It can cause a lot of GI issues for some people, not everyone, just for some. So if that is you, I would not suggest using any type of sugar alcohol like erythritol or xylitol because it can cause some GI upset. If you don't have issue with that and you are wanting to control blood sugar or are diabetic, this might be a very good option because for this, this does cut down the amount of sugar or grams of carbohydrate by about half. So that would be helpful in baked goods to decrease that added sugar. This is another blend of both erythritol, so again, that sugar alcohol, as well as a soluble fiber. This is a tapioca fiber. So again, it's going to be about similar to this in terms of its impact on your blood sugar. It's about half of our carbohydrates as opposed to our cane sugar and our coconut sugar. So the impact on your blood sugar is less, as well as the insulin that your pancreas is secreting would also be less. So these would be better options if you are a diabetic and you do not have GI issues. Allulose, on the other hand, this is the RX sugar over here. This isn't necessarily a baking blend, but this does not have sugar alcohol. So if you're wanting to control your blood sugar, you're diabetic and you cannot have sugar alcohol, this would be the one for you because this allulose has no sugar alcohol. It will not give you any GI upset. This is a plant-based sugar. There are some carbohydrates in here, but it does not impact your blood glucose. The net carbs are actually 0, so it doesn't stimulate the release of any insulin. So this would be a potential good option. This is harder to bake with though, but this is ideal if you're going to make some tea or if you wanted to sweeten up, let's say, your chia pudding or sweeten your coffee. This is a great option. Could also use this in a smoothie or something like that. So again, there's a lot of different options out there. This is not a one size fit all, but I would keep in mind kind of the pros and cons of each of these. At the end of the day, there's two different camps of thought here. It's, something that doesn't have a lot of additives, something potentially more natural, but just use less of it, or the importance of maybe needing to have tighter control over your blood sugar if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, and utilizing some of these other options that would keep your blood sugar and insulin levels lower. So I hope that helps kind of decipher some of the information around all of these sweeteners. All in all, definitely try to include the chia seed in your diet as well as cottage cheese. These are both great superfoods and great options. And hopefully you can find the sugar option that is right for you as well. Thank you for tuning in today. Again, my name is Tara Salee. If you want any other information, you can certainly reach out to me. And as always, Hy-Vee dietitians are here to make your lives easier, healthier, and happier. Have a great day.